Well, hello, model car fans. Welcome to the Muscle Car Modeler. My name is Ral, and this week I'm going to do a bench update on some of my projects here, and mainly just to show you the ones I'm working on and where I'm at the moment. My last video that you saw was me clear coating a couple of bodies, and that was Easter Sunday, and I hope you guys had a good Easter Sunday. I did. It was a busy Easter Sunday because working on the models and clear coating, that was literally 5 hours that day between cleaning the airbrush and getting all the bodies washed and ready to go, mixing the paint and spraying, and then stop and go and everything, and filming as well, which is why I only filmed painting 2 bodies. And even though I clear coated 4, I was actually trying to clear coat 6. I'll show you those here in a second. Like I did the Shelby, which this, you can see how it came out here. Really nice, really happy with it. And on these, I started to black out the insides and everything. So that's all brush painted. And, just blacking out and getting the headliner I had done before clear, which is why there's clear on the headliner. But with the windows and everything, you really can't see that. But it stands out if it's white versus, if it's the interior color. But it's hard to see in there. And basically, if it's at a show and somebody is able to look that far into it, that's kind of amazing, but it's really hard to look in there. And I'll know it's there, but I mean, most people won't. So I did that one, and then my 64 GTO convertible. You see there's some fingerprints all over it, but black that out and the whole inside, underside, which is what I've been kind of doing since then. And I got my other 64 GTO. Now this is an original AMT that was restored, 64 GTO. This I got from a friend, and it was a restoration project, so I did that one. This one, because I've been asked from a few of you, where did I get a 64 GTO convertible? And it's not Polar Lights. This is a Model Haus resin one. I mentioned in a few of the videos. And it was actually broken right here. But since I wanted to make a convertible out of it, I cut the whole roof off and used some parts from the 65 convertible, the boot from AMT. So that's how I'm making a convertible out of this one. But it's also the one that I had something fall on it and shatter this windshield frame, and so I had to rebuild it after I'd cut it into a convertible and after I had to repair it once before from being broken before I made it a convertible. But working on that, working on this, working on the chrome as well, making sure it all fits and blacking out what's visible underneath. These have some gaping holes, but the front bumper I haven't gotten to yet. I did have to do some shaving in here because it didn't quite fit the front end because it was rounded out a little bit. So I had to do some shaving there. Taillights fit. Here's the piece that goes in between the grills. And then working on the hood, these scoops are not glued in place, they're just set in place, but blacked out the underside as well. So, little details like that I'm slowly working on. So I'll put those. But that's what I'm kind of doing right now. Here's the other one I did, the Boss 302. I clear coated this one. And same thing. And I started, blacking out all of that and got all the underhood blacked out. But this one, there's some semi-gloss. So this is going to get semi-gloss blacked. This trunk panel right here is semi-gloss black. And then this tail panel. Now I masked them off and I'll airbrush those here soon. I've got a previous video. I'll put that in a link in the video description below of my other Boss 302 when I built that one when I first started the channel, the Calypso Coral one. That's how I did it as well. And came out pretty nice where I can have this hidden under the clear. Now, sharp-eyed viewers will notice that part of this stripe will be clear coated and then it'll be semi-gloss from that on. But I get as close to it as possible, but that's the way I prefer to do it on that one. And then, the hood came out really nice as well. I got to black the underside out. Haven't done that yet. The mirrors need the other side of them clear coated. I haven't done that yet. But, this hood is done. Now, I hung this hood and that hood over the side of the cardboard. So when I had the cardboard on it, I pretty much had it hanging over like that. So when I airbrush the top, I can get under there and get clear on the bottom side, so I didn't have to flip it over. I could do it in one side. So this hood and that hood were mounted that way on purpose. Also, got clear on this one, which is the Resin Hornet SC360. So, ended up spitting on it. Whoops. Anyway, so yeah, this one got cleared as well, and I'll foil this and that, but I started same thing, blacking out the whole underside of the body, and started painting just some of the engine compartment wires and stuff in there to make it kind of all stand out. Looking at some reference in what's on this body and everything. So, and the hood fits, just making sure, because sometimes the clear will build up. But this clear sprays out really, really nice. So those are there. Now, the other two that I didn't get to is right here. This one is now ready for clear, so maybe I'll get this one today. I hope so. But since I had to clear out, I did clear coat the hood. So just the top side, because the underside is black. So the whole hood got cleared. It was ready, but the body wasn't quite ready. So instead of pushing myself, and I was running out of time with other Easter activities, so this one didn't get clear on it yet, and it will. And same with the other Impala, the 65 convertible that I'm doing in the orchid color. So, but noticed a couple of scratches right there that somehow happened. I don't know when it happened, but because of those two scratches right there, and I thought there was one more someplace else, but I just got to touch that up, and before I clear coat this one. So it was washed and ready. So I'll do maybe another whole coat on it, or just that area, touch it up. But that's why I sprayed. But so the hoods were ready. So since I had to clear out, I sprayed the hood, so I don't have to spray the hoods later. So you can kind of see the shine difference right there. This one doesn't show it as well, but this one certainly does. You can see the difference in the shine between being clear coated and not clear coated. But this one is a base coat, and that's the way they look, especially under the lights. Kind of funny how it shimmers. But emblems are polished out and ready to show, which is what I forgot to do on this one, if I didn't mention it yet. Anyways, that's where these are at. And I'm going to focus on these 4 to get them done, because I've been juggling 8 of them. And that's been part of the issue is, I'm doing a little bit to each one. That's why I really haven't finished anything in a while. But I've got a lot of progress on all of them. I got a lot of the interior done on this one, a lot of the chassis done. I've got this GTO out for reference, just looking it over and the details. So while the chassis on this one is pretty much done, kind of copying this one and the underside. So just kind of looking at all of that. But it's kind of funny, I started thinking about it. When I first started this channel, I was building this 64 GTO and my Boss 302, that is Calypso Coral. So here I am building another 69 Boss 302 and another 64 GTO 5 years later. So that's kind of comical to me anyway. But that's where those are. I've got much more to go. A lot of the Shelby stuff is, ready and in here. The Boss 302 is kind of in the same kind of stuff. So when I get to open some of these boxes up to show you where I'm at. So this one, a lot of the stuff is already painted, just needs detail painting. And so hopefully these will go pretty quick. I got some bare metal foil to do and some other things to paint. The Hornet SC360, same kind of stuff. A lot of the chassis and stuff is done. So once these bodies really start to get together, they'll go. But some of the other ones I had to put aside. I had a real big catastrophe happen to one of them. I'll show that in a later episode. So that one got set aside. The problem has been collected, or replacement parts have been collected. So that one will get back on my desk. But I had to set that aside to focus off on some of the other stuff. And then there's a 73 Corvette, the Baldwin Motion car. That one, working on that one a little bit too. And then the 2 Impalas. So those are the other 4, but I'm not going to focus as heavily on those as I was before. So that's where I'm at with these, and I wanted to show you what's going on and kind of show you the results of the paint job and everything, and how they came out, because super excited about these. So these will get cranked out really, really fast. One of the other benefits of this particular clear is when I'm brush painting in here, I forgot to mention this, anywhere I get on the clear, I could just polish it off with this. And that's what I do here. If I get it on too close to the wheel well, I polish it up and clean it up here and anywhere. And sometimes I'll get it on a fingerprint, but even like the scoop right there and a scoop right there, you can go and polish it off and it comes right off. So the clear is really good for that kind of stuff. And if you get a fingerprint or another color on it, it really it's a nice barrier, and you can clean it off, being that it's so chemically resistant and everything. It's kind of funny that it's much more forgiving if you do mistakes like that. Other than super glue, don't get super glue on your finger and glue your finger to the side of the body.
No.
Another question, or another thing that I learned the hard way. So done that too. Got super glue on my finger and got a nice fingerprint on the car. But we'll get some bare metal foil and get some things going on here. But just want to share with you guys where I'm at, what's going on. Going to focus on these 4 heavily here so you can see all the latest stuff. So you guys, thank you for your comments and your likes and your shares and your subscriptions and everything. Really do appreciate it and your support. You guys, you have a wonderful weekend, and I will see you next time.